A personal process, gender reassignment occurs when an individual chooses to live as the gender they identify with, rather than the one they were assigned at birth. This transition involves emotional, psychological, and social changes, including changing their name, dress style, and mannerisms to be consistent with their affirmed gender, as well as hormone treatments, voice therapy, and in some cases, surgical procedures. Under the Equality Act 2010, an individual who chooses to go through the gender reassignment process is described as transsexual. However, the terminology in this area is constantly evolving. So let's take a look at some other key terms. Commonly used as umbrella terms, transgender and trans include both transsexuals and those with non-binary identities who do not identify with the male-female binary genders. Gender identity relates to how an individual views their gender, while those with gender dysphoria experience distress because of the difference between the sex they were assigned at birth and the one they identify with. The Equality Act 2010 protects individuals who are proposing to transition, are transitioning, or have transitioned, regardless of whether they've undergone medical treatment. In the workplace, this includes employees, apprentices, and contractors, and occurs once they've made their intention known to someone, when they start to live according to the gender they identify with, and when they undergo gender reassignment treatment. However, the Act does not cover non-binary identities or individuals described as intersex, individuals born with reproductive anatomy that doesn't fit typical gender definitions. According to the Act, there are 4 main types of discrimination. Direct discrimination is when you're treated less favourably than others because you're transsexual, you're thought to be transsexual, or you associate with someone who is transsexual. Indirect discrimination is when a policy, rule, or guideline is applied generally but disadvantages transsexual individuals. Harassment is behaviour which violates an individual's dignity, creating an intimidating, hostile, and degrading work environment. And finally, victimisation is when you're subjected to detrimental treatment because you've reported discrimination. In some cases, discrimination can be legal, provided the employer can prove that it was a proportionate means of achieving a legitimate aim, or an occupational requirement that's critical to the role. According to a government report, 88% of transgender employees have experienced discrimination in the workplace. This tends to occur in 6 main areas: recruitment, payment, promotion, training, dismissal, and redundancy, either as a one-off event, a repeated action, or as a result of company policy. If you encounter discrimination in the workplace, it's recommended that you approach your employer first to give them an opportunity to resolve the situation, either informally or formally. So how can you be protected? Well, your organisation should focus on your ability to perform a role, rather than your gender identity. Use gender-neutral language such as they and their, and ensure transsexual individuals are not denied access to in-work benefits, promotion opportunities, or training activities. It's important for employers to create a workplace that embraces diversity and supports transsexual employees in all aspects at work. For example, introducing a transitioning at work policy which covers time off, dress codes, toilet and changing facilities, personal records, and transfer requests. During the transition, managers should support the individual by agreeing what information can be shared with others, acknowledging the date on which they will start living as their affirmed identity by ensuring all passes and records are updated, and recognising that no 2 trans identities are the same, so they'll need to follow the employee's lead. In summary, everyone should be treated with respect, regardless of their gender identity, with transsexual individuals supported throughout the transition process and protected from discrimination through the creation of an inclusive workplace environment.